All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Free. I'm Ryan. I'm the pastor and executive director here, and this is Carrie. She is the associate executive director here. So good to be with all of you this evening, and welcome to those of you joining us online. We're glad you're part of this community. Speaking of community, this is a community for addicts, loved ones of addicts, and spiritual refugees, and what we do here is break the silence of addiction while creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And as always, there's one thing we don't do in this community. You can shout it out on a count of three, all four words. And if you're at home watching online, shout it out. 1, 2, 3.
We don't do shame.
We don't do shame. But Carrie's going to tell you a couple of things coming up that you might want to know about.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello and welcome. If tonight is your first night, we are glad that you're here. We would love to connect with you after. Just outside of these doors, you can find one of us or a volunteer. I know Kai has a lanyard around her neck. You can meet with Kai after. She'll get you hooked up with one of our welcome bags. Inside the welcome bag, you can find some fresh roasted Wagon coffee by the extraordinary Tammy Candidate and her women at Wagon Coffee, as well as some free swag and our Connect card. The Connect card is how you get connected. You get signed up to our newsletter, and you get to find out all the exciting things that we have happening throughout the week, as well as who the guest storyteller is going to be. Some of the exciting things that we have coming up, one of them is actually happening
Next Saturday.
We got two things this week, but this coming Saturday, this was in the newsletter, and we've been announcing it for a few weeks now, but you still have time. So if you have lost someone to this terrible disease of addiction, anytime from when Free started in 2018 until today, we would love to help you honor that person. What we'll be doing next week is reading their names and dinging the sound bowls and having a moment of silence.
And lighting candles.
And lighting candles. But it's a way for us to honor the community and know that they're not forgotten. So there is still time. All that we ask is that you email the picture of your loved one as well as their name to ben@freerecoverycommunity.com. If you did not listen to anything I just said, that's okay. Sign up for our newsletter, and it'll be in the newsletter also. However, the cutoff is going to be on Monday at end of business day. So please get those submitted, and we would love to help you honor your loved ones.
Yeah, so we'll still give a message at night, and this will be after the message. We'll have a more, quiet, reflective, contemplative time together to remember. And we've lost a lot of people in our community, young people. This disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It seeks to take our lives. So, yeah, that'll be next week. I hope you come. Next.
I think you're
next. Am I next? I'm next.
Oh, that's so you,
okay. Y'all, I mentioned this last week, but starting not this Monday, but the following Monday, me and Reverend Claire McNulty Drews, we're going to lead a 6-week book discussion on the book Breathing Underwater, Spirituality and the 12 Steps. This is by Richard Rohr. If you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend you come join us at noon in the cafes. We're going to do from noon to 1, so you can bring a lunch if you want. You can get coffee and a muffin from the cafe if that's your thing. And you don't have to sign up. There's no sign-ups. Just show up and be part of the discussion. If you're coming on week 1, oh, and by the way, some people have asked, well, I can't come on the second week. That's okay. Come to 1 week or come to all 6. Come to what you can. You can be part of it. If you come to week 1 and you want to read and participate in the discussion, we're going to do the introduction in chapters 1 and 2. We'll cover 2 chapters per week, so 2 steps per week. And as Carrie reminded me last service, even if you didn't get the reading done, you can still come be a part of the discussion. Come relax, have some fun, dive into some content. It's going to be a good time. So again, that's not this Monday, but November 3rd is when it starts, and 6 Mondays in a row.
Yes, and then one other exciting thing we have coming up this week is on Friday. If you are signed up for the newsletter, I have to own my mistake. I got the date incorrect. It is.
Say it ain't so.
In fact, it is this coming Friday, November 7th, and it's going to be a problem gambling and sports betting panel with it's like a lunch and learn. So this is not a marketing event, but this is an opportunity to come and connect and listen to qualified professionals in the field talking about all the different problems, as well as the resources and the solution for those who suffer with problem gambling. It is free to come. You will receive lunch, but we do ask that you register. You can find this on our website. I'm sure Ryan will post it on our socials this week as well.
Yep, it's been on there.
And I would also encourage you, again, sign up for the newsletter, and this will be on there this week.
And problem gambling and sports betting, and some of y'all know how timely this discussion is as we see what's happening in the NBA right now, and our Denver guy, Chauncey Billups, getting busted a little bit with sports betting. So it's a problem that's reaching far and wide, and it's one of the fastest growing addictions in the world right now. That's why we're talking about it.
That's all
So
I
come
got
be a
for
part
you.
of it. Okay, thank you, Carrie.
Thanks.
All right, y'all, the way we get started here on a Saturday night, if you're new with us, we always start with celebrations. We start with the good. We lift up the good. It's a profound thing we get to do together is celebrate one another. And maybe you're here and you're celebrating a sobriety anniversary, or maybe it's a birthday, or maybe it's whatever's happening new in your life, or recovery, new jobs, new homes, new babies. We celebrate it all here. And I said this last service, Carrie and I and Sue, we were in Vegas this week at a conference, and I was leading a workshop on what we do here at Free, and I talked about the importance of celebrations and how when we celebrate together, it has a way of bringing barriers down because we find out we're all in it together and we get to root for each other, and something profound happens when we do that. So if you're online, drop your celebration in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments, and we will join with you there. In house, just raise up your hand, and Jason will have a mic on this side. Shua will have this mic on this side. We take 3 minutes. This time is yours.
Hi, my name's Layla. I've been a member of Free for a few years now, and I just want to celebrate that my fiance and I are planning on getting married right here at Free.
Hi, it's Andre. I'm just celebrating that our sober softball team was able to win the tournament and the league championship. It's great to be playing softball with a bunch of sober people.
I'm Kai, and I'm celebrating 953 days free of fentanyl.
Right on, girl. You rock.
Hi, this is Sai, and I am celebrating 1,233 days in recovery.
Right on.
Hi, this is Eli. I just started a new job today, so real excited about that.
Hey, this is Mimi, and this week I got finally 1 continuous year of sobriety free from alcohol, mind-altering substances, eating disorder behavior, self-harm, codependency, and all the things.
Hi, my name is Jenna, and I am celebrating 30 days in recovery again after a relapse today.
My name is Sarah, and I am also celebrating 30 days of recovery today.
My name is Molly, and I'm celebrating 8 years in recovery.
Today's 148, and I brought my mom to celebrate for 150 coming up in 2 days.
I knew I was sitting down in the right spot. Tina, you good?
My name's Aaron. This is my first time here, and I'm enjoying it well so far. 31 days sober today.
My name is Daniel. I'm here with Aaron and a couple others, and 32 days sober today.
My name's Kyson, and after another hiccup in August, I now have 55 days sober.
Way to go, Kyson. Congratulations. Do you need that mic? Oh, you have a mic on, Carrie. Jason, you want to join me up here? And Carrie's going to come up too. Yeah, you're welcome. We can all three be up here together.
You're going to be reading. I'm not reading. Can I go first? I do, guys, and I need your help. So if you guys don't know, this is National Pastor Appreciation Day, or month, or I'm going to say day, but it's probably month. So this is what I would like you to do. You'll see some Post-its up here, and I'll explain those later. But what I would love you to do is after service, go outside this door, and you'll see a desk right outside of Ryan's office. And I would love for you to write Ryan a message of what it is that you appreciate about him. He and his wife, Tammy, and all of his children sacrifice so much that we get to have this community. And I think it should happen every single day that we have Ryan Appreciation Day. But at least today, I ask everyone who's physically here in the room to go and do that. And for those of you who are online, please drop a message in the messages so tonight he can read those and remember how valued he is, how special he is, and just how much we love him. And that's all I got for now.
Thank you. Jason, we have some nice people here.
I know, and I'm not one of them. I just want to say.
You are one of them. You are one of them. No, on a serious note, I use this language intentionally. I get to. It's 7 years later since we started free, and I still get to do this, and I love you people. I love this community. I love the recovery community and everything we're about, and I get to do it today. So thank you for being a part of it. Yeah. Thank you. All right, man. Thank you all. Shall we, you want to take the first one?
Shanley says, ciao from Italy. I would like to shout out to our beloved Carrie for 9 years sober. You truly are an inspiration.
Carrie, 9 years. Carrie, we celebrated that at the beginning last time, and then her sobriety just slipped her. But Carrie is 9 years sober today, which is a huge deal. Yeah. And Shanley was joining us all the way from Italy. I bet she wins the award for being furthest away.
I think so, yeah.
Probably. Okay, Sarah says, celebrating being down to a healthy weight again and having lost inches off my waistline too. Sarah, we're going to celebrate that with you. Woo, woo, woo.
John says, Carrie and I are at a wedding tonight, but snuck out to watch tonight's service. Love y'all.
All right, John and Carrie, we'll celebrate that. Glad you all are here. Hope the wedding was great. Shanley said the same thing twice. Mike Anderson. By the grace of God and the fellowship of AA and free recovery community and the massive support I've gotten from thousands, I have 13 years today. Way to go, Mike. Congratulations, brother. Glad you're part of this community. Thank you, Jason, for being up here. All right, y'all. We're going to keep the fun going tonight because if you haven't been here over the past couple of weeks, we've been in this series. We're doing a 3-week series on fear, and it's called Do It Scared. And this week, we're going to address the topic. The title is Never in a Million Years. And what you're going to witness tonight, I can tell you, well, it's been in the making for some time now, a couple of months now. But I thought never in a million years would this happen. And, well, it's about to happen. Here's a video.
Right now, are you in fear? Right now. Every moment of your life you're in fear? No.
You will overcome that fear. But the hard part is, you got to take that first step.
All right, friends. Carl Jung once told us, when there is a fear of falling, the only control we have is to jump. This is me jumping. Never in a million years did I think I'd be standing up here about to give this sermon to you. That's probably why I didn't tell many people that I would be doing this. At the last service, my family sat in the front row and were just as shocked as many of you are here tonight. See, fear has been running on this loop that I will never be good enough to stand up here. I'll never be as good as Ryan. Nobody comes to hear me. I'm not qualified to talk about God. I didn't go to seminary. I didn't even go to college. Some of those things may actually be true, but here's something else that recovery has taught me. That when we are willing to show up honestly and even awkward at times, God meets us right where we are. See, a few months ago, Ryan and I and little Bricks, his 6-year-old son, we were in a back of an Uber in Chicago. We were super excited with all of the energy that was coming in, with all the stuff that was happening in Chicago, and we ended up sitting there and planning out the rest of the series for the rest of the year. And when I looked at the dates and I realized that this Do It Scared series fell right in the end of my sobriety birthday, a fear just instantly dropped in, but I also heard a voice that was louder. This voice told me it's time to say yes. It's time to jump in and let myself enter the story. It's time I allow myself to be seen. I found myself nervously turning to Ryan, and I said, "What would you think if I did the sermon on my sobriety birthday?" And without a moment's notice, Ryan instantly said yes, and I knew I couldn't back down. So I swore him and Ryan and little Bricks to absolute secrecy. And I've held that secret until tonight. See, at that moment, sorry guys, this is a lot. And the reason I didn't tell people, yes, there was also fear involved, but there was also something more important. How many times do we sit there and we talk and we talk and we talk about all the things we're going to do? I'm going to stop drinking. This time, I'm going to leave this relationship. I'm going to leave that job. This time, things will be different. We talk, and somewhere along the line, the talking replaces the doing. What if we stopped waiting? What if we stopped waiting for someone to give us the okay? What if we stopped waiting for the fear to leave? What if we just said yes to the things that scare us? What if we jumped and trusted God with our landing? See, every week I stand up here and I ask you brave community members to join me up in the living room. And I ask you to let us see you, to tell us your story, even if you don't have your ending all figured out. And what I have learned from you brave individuals is sometimes the most important thing is just the willingness. See, the truth is, fear does not want us to see the things that we can become. Fear is a liar, and sometimes the best way to shut fear up is to just do it scared. So where do we start? When the thought came to me that it's time to step into the story, I had to ask myself, what story was I willing to step into? See, if you're anything like me, I have spent my life running from who I am, where I came from, my family of origin, all the things I did in active addiction. Where do you start is the same place that I started with recovery, and that is just willingness. Willingness to show up, willingness to be seen, even when we don't know how it'll turn out. And sometimes, friends, the absolute best place to start when you can find exactly all of the answers you need, that is right, ChatGPT. I bet you all thought I was going to say the Bible, but hang on, that'll come later. So, the true Bible novice that I am, I did not grow up in any sort of organized religion. The only information I knew about God I found in the rooms of 12-step recovery, and since coming to Free and listening to Ryan. So again, what I did one night after one of Ryan's sermons, I was up late at night on a Saturday night, and I literally typed into ChatGPT, based on all you know about me, which character in the Bible would you say I'm most like? And of course, Chat told me that I was Jesus. I'm totally kidding. I wish that was the answer, friends, but it was not. Chat told me that I was most like the character Hagar. And you're probably sitting there and you have no idea who this woman is. I didn't know either. But again, with the help of Chat and the Recovery Bible that my sponsor had given me, I dove in and I learned out as much as I could about her. See, she was a quiet character in the Old Testament. She was not the chosen one. She wasn't the favorite. She wasn't even supposed to be there. She was a servant, used, discarded, a woman with no power and no voice. A woman who nobody cared to know her name. Thanks a lot, Chat. I wanted to be Jesus. But again, when her pain got too great, when the way the cruelty of the world that was treating her got too big, what she did is she ran. She ran into the wilderness, and that, my friends, is something I understood. And that is when I knew that she and I were more alike than I cared to admit. Because I know what it's like to run, to want out, to feel unwanted, to feel unseen, even by God. Addiction was my wilderness. When I was 25 years old, I was in a relationship that I swore he was the love of my life. He was tall, dark, and handsome. We were living together, and our addictions matched each other's perfectly. Everything was perfect until one day, it suddenly wasn't. One night, things turned very quickly and very violently. I found myself no longer understanding the world I was living in. I was full of shame and embarrassment. How did I end up in this situation? How did I not see the signs? I knew I should leave, but I had nowhere to go. Fear stopped me at first. Fear of what people would think. Fear that I had somehow caused this. My ultimate fear was that I was just proven right, that I was truly unlovable all along. It took me several days to reach out for help, and the loved ones I turned to, unfortunately, confirmed my deepest fears. They told me I probably provoked him. They told me that I should stay because he was probably the only one who would love me as amazing as he did. And in that moment, the words that struck me the most was, I should stay. Nobody else wanted me. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that we were trapped into a life that we were born into, and that somehow we deserved the things that happened to us. Thankfully, that night, I didn't listen. There was some tiny part of me buried deep, deep, deep inside that knew I had to go. And I had this tiny voice whisper to me, you have to get out, and you have to get out now. So the second he left the house the next time, I quickly packed up as much as I could, and I shoved all my belongings in my car. No goodbye, no explanation. I just ran. Alone in my personal wilderness, now living in my car, feeling unseen, feeling unloved, and feeling exactly like Hagar. In the middle of her wilderness, when Hagar is convinced it is all over, an angel suddenly appears, not with judgment, not with shame, but with presence. And at that moment, Hagar does something that no other person in the entire Bible had done up until that point. Yes, that includes the men. Sorry, boys, but it's true. Hagar decides that she is not only willing to be seen by God, but she gives God a name. She says, El Roy, which translates to "You are the God who sees me." She was alone, discarded, and pretty hopeless. But when her angel appeared, she was willing to listen, willing to be seen, willing to believe that not only did God see her, but she was worthy of naming the God who did. I didn't know it at the time, but that tiny voice that whispered to me that night and told me to run, that was my angel in my wilderness. See, my friends, I wish I could sit up here tonight and tell you that really terrible things will never happen to you. And sadly, that's not true. But what I am here tonight to tell you is we do not have to let those things define us. Nothing that you have ever done or that was done unto you disqualifies you from God's love. You don't have to believe the lies that fear wants to tell you. Even in a world where you may feel unseen by those around you, are you willing to believe that there is a God who sees you? Maybe Hagar's story isn't only about the God who sees. Maybe it's about the people who are willing to see themselves as part of the story, even when the world around them tries to tell them that they don't belong. Maybe it's these quiet, lesser-known characters, the one that nobody expects anything of, that give the rest of us permission to name a God of our own understanding. They remind us that the holy isn't only found in the spotlight after we have it all figured out. Often, it's hidden in the wilderness, waiting for our willingness to be seen. Seen as we truly are, not as fear would like us to believe. I have never been comfortable being seen. A year and a half ago, when Ryan and I started talking about me stepping into this role of Associate Executive Director, I told him that the only condition that I had in order to accept this job was if I absolutely, under no circumstance, was required to do anything that involved being on stage. Before I accepted the position, I literally made him take it out of all of the paperwork so I would never be bound to that promise. The truth is I didn't feel qualified. I believed that my strength was being in the side character, the one behind the scenes supporting the story, not standing in the middle of it. But Ryan saw a leader in me before I could see it in myself. Some days, I still struggle to see myself that way. But I was willing to believe that he believed. I was willing to start with these little baby tiny steps. First, it came doing the announcements, and if any of you know me, that small little task terrified me to the point I can't even explain. Next, you found me moving up to the couch with you brave people who join me every single week. But even that, I had safety in the one asking the questions, not the one answering them. But as evidence of me standing up here tonight, being willing to do it scared, being willing to take the next jump and trust God with my landing. And trust me, I want this on the record, that Ryan, this does not mean that I will ever, ever, ever do this again. However, I didn't want to say that I didn't want to do this only out of fear. I have spent my entire life being scared, and I'm tired of being scared. So, maybe for all of us, it simply starts with the willingness. Willingness to be seen even when we don't feel ready. Willingness to show up scared and let somebody else's belief in us be enough to hold us until we believe it in ourselves. And that's exactly what happened to me tonight 9 years ago when I attended my first 12-step meeting. I was that girl in the back of the room. I was terrified. I had my hoodie up, head down. I was crying. I couldn't look at anyone in the eyes, and I certainly was not going to stay after to speak to anyone. But that's when I heard my next angel. Her name was Janine, and she would go on to become my first sponsor. She told me these crazy, wild fantasies that I had no idea what she was talking about. She told me I could get sober. She told me I would make friends. She told me that not only would I be able to maintain sobriety, but I would actually go on to build a life where I wouldn't even want to drink. And if you are anything like me, those might be some very confusing words to hear. At the time, I had no sober friends. I was the only sober member of my family. I had no idea what it meant to be sober or who I would become. But I do know that it started with my willingness to believe that she believed. Willingness to take the suggestions that she offered me. Willing to let go of my old ways of seeing myself. See, that's the power of willingness. It doesn't demand our certainty. It just asks for that small, trembling yes. And maybe that's where God has been waiting all along. Not in our perfection, not in our confidence, simply our willingness. So 9 years later, I am standing in the very spot I swore you would never find me. Never in a million years did I think I would be standing up here talking about God and recovery and telling all of you and all of the internet all of my deepest, darkest fears. But that's the thing about God, my friends. When our fears want to tell us never, God knows it may truly just be a not yet, and that's okay. Yes, of course, fear still has a voice. Driving over here, it was yelling at me. Girl, what do you think you're doing? You are not ready for this. You're going to make a fool out of yourself. And even after the 5 o'clock, there is no way I'm doing this again. I'm not doing it in front of the cameras. See, fear would love us to believe that the old version of ourselves is the only one that is available. Fear would love to have me stuck in that 25-year-old version of myself, still running, full of shame. Fear would love to have me in the 2016 version of myself, hoodie up, head down in the back of the room, not talking to anyone. Fear would love to keep me small, hidden, reminding me that I'll never be as good as Ryan, so why even try? But today, the October 25th, 2025 version of me gets to do this scared, even if it's a bit awkward and I stumble just a little. And if I had stayed in that 25-year-old version of myself, I never would have gone on to marry the true love of my life and have our 2 beautiful children, Caitlin and Mason. And if I would have stayed in the 2016 version of myself, I would have spent more of their childhood as the mom lost an addiction, and they deserved so much better. And I can stand up here tonight and I can tell you that my children now have a mom who has been in active recovery longer than they had a mom who was in active addiction. And if I would have stayed in that version of myself who believed that I wasn't worthy of standing up here, I would have missed this moment. The kind that I used to believe was for other people, not me. You probably have your never in a million years thing too. Something you swore you would never do. The person you would never forgive. The fear you would never face. Maybe you're standing on the edge tonight, waiting for the fear to go away before you jump. But what if it never does? What if all you need is the willingness to take the next baby step and trust that God has got your landing? What if we stopped talking so much about all of the excuses that stop us from living up to our potential? Stopped waiting for somebody else to give us approval. Stopped waiting for the moment when we feel completely ready. What if we don't need permission to step into the story? Whatever your never in a million years thing is, whatever wilderness you may be standing in tonight, may you have the courage to do it scared. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. And if you're willing to believe that there is a God who sees you, would you jump? I'm about to play a song for you. It's called Fear is a Liar. I heard this song, Ryan played it a couple of months ago. And any time that fear is just running on repeat, I sit in my car and I play this song over and over and over again, and I let the fear come out of my eyes. So during this song, you may sit in quiet reflection. I would also invite you, if you are willing, to come up here and use these Post-its and let go of one of those messages that fear has been stopping you. Let us see you tonight and let us hold. This community has so much love. Let us believe in you until you're ready to believe in yourself. Give it up to the God who sees you.
Back, everybody. Man, Carrie did a great job, didn't she? First time. And we kept a good secret, didn't we? Do you know, so me and Tammy, my wife Tammy knew. Bricks knew because he was in the Uber. Can I say who else knew? Shanley was with us in Chicago. Shanley knew some things going down, but y'all missed the best part. I mean, I'm glad you were here at 7, but at 5 o'clock, Carrie's family was here, her husband and 2 children, and she gets on stage, and to watch Stuart the whole time you were up here, he just had this huge grin, and sorry if I'm saying too much, Stuart, but, and then tears started to fall from his eyes, and it was just like a beautiful family sight to see. Thank you, Carrie. And she dropped the ancient Hebrew language in her first sermon. El Roy, meaning the God who sees you. How good is that? All right, y'all, we're going to move on, and we're going to keep some fun going. Actually, we're going to keep some meaningfulness going, because you do know every Saturday night we have a guest storyteller that joins us up here in the living room. We've done it every single week for 7 years. We've had a guest storyteller. Yeah, tonight, this is another one of those, man, I don't know if I'd say never in a million years, but never in a lot of years would this thing happen, this guest storyteller be here. He's a dear friend of mine, a man that I have shed tears over, because he is now 53 days sober, but he's coming out of a heavy relapse. And I said this last service, a man that... Man, I honestly, I laid in bed one night about 55 days ago, and I said to Tammy, my wife, I said, I think we're going to be planning Shua's funeral soon. I didn't know if he was going to make it out. And here he is today, 53 days sober. Help me welcome Shua up to the living room. My boy Shua in the house. Shua's one of my favorite people. This is a dear friend of mine, and when we talk about miracles, I need y'all to understand this. This is a miracle sitting here. I've seen Shua on his deathbed. When we say this disease is trying to take everything from you, including your life, it happens. And Shua's here to tell about it. And I asked Shua to come share about fear. And y'all know last week we had Jerome here, 10 years sober, and tell us what fear looks like. And that's good. We need that story. We need 20 years sober. We need them all. But we also need someone who's stepping into this new, coming out of a relapse, getting honest with his addiction and honest in his recovery. And Shua, let's start with... I don't know how many days ago it was, 55 days ago maybe, 54 days ago when you were in detox. What was that fear like? Lay out that fear for us in detox, in active addiction.
Yeah. First off, thanks for letting me be here. Yeah, again, yeah. I feel like I need to qualify myself first with you before, because it's important to me to know people's story and to be able to relate, but... I've been battling this for 7 years. 5 have been extremely hard. The last 3 have been deadly. And they say that it's called suicide drinking is what happens to me now. I'm not hardly awake at all. I wake up, I grab a 100-proof bottle, and I pass back out. And that's what happens for weeks until somebody helps me or stops it, or I end up in a detox. And I think it'd be fair to explain that there is not a fear in relapse anymore, because I'm not conscious, and there's nothing there. But from a career with the Denver Nuggets on the court 6 times a game for 41 games a year for like 6 years, to an aspiring real estate agent, all the things, a DJ, all the things, it's taken everything from me slowly but surely along the way. But it's also chipped away and taken things from me I needed to give and get rid of, and added to me through subtraction. So with that being said, nobody was here this time, I had to call in paramedics, and was berated by 4 paramedics, and they called my mom in front of me and embarrassed me in front of her. took me to the hospital, and then I sat there by myself, for the umpteenth time, but by myself. And then I came out and sat on a bench in front of the hospital and watched good people going into work and Ubered home to my apartment. I had a bag with me because my best friend packed it for me. I was supposed to go to a detox before. I didn't know what was going on. And I got home and I walked into my apartment, and it was a disaster, and I knew that this is where I was gonna die. And I called another Uber and hung my head and walked into detox. And this is the same detox I've been to 4 times this year. And the fear's different now. Like I said, it wasn't the same in relapse because I don't know what's happening to me. But in detox, I'm thinking, am I going to lose my person? She's been through this 4 times now. She didn't sign up for this. This is not what I promised her. It's not what I wanted to give her. Am I going to lose her? Are you going to take me back as a sponsee? Is Free going to welcome me again? Am I going to be able to go here? Can I go to eye openers at the Edit Club? Am I going to lose my job? This will be the 2nd time I just didn't answer the phone for 2 weeks in a relapse. Am I going to lose my dog? Am I going to lose my health? But I think the biggest fear in detox was, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to keep doing this anymore? And I didn't know this, but my mom came out in the relapse, and she said that I was looking straight at her, and I said that I'm not winning. I'm not winning, and I'm done with it. I'm done trying. I can't do this anymore. So I think the biggest fear was, do I want to keep going?
And when you say that, just to put a face to it, does that mean I don't care, or I don't know if I want to keep living because the relapse is not, this is too much pain?
Yeah, I mean, it's gone from, episodes of psychosis to losing, the person I lived with, my best friend. We lived together for 5 years, losing her, to starting to go to rehabs and detoxes over and over and over. And each time I come out, and one thing I know about myself is I get right back to fighting and hoping and believing. Sometimes it takes my health longer. Sometimes it takes my mind longer to get back. Sometimes it takes my spirituality longer to get back. But this time, I didn't walk in the same. I laid in bed, in this little twin bed, and I just, the light I felt like was finally gone.
Yeah. All right, dude, let's jump into now. So you're 53 days sober. We talked about this last time too. One of Shua's greatest gifts and greatest liabilities is he can come out of this relapse, and he comes out looking like a rock star. He's back in the gym that day. He's lifted weights. He's got a job waiting for him again. And he comes out and everything's not gone. There are things still there. I said, Shua, how's your liver? If you put that much alcohol in your body, your liver's going to be suffering. You got to get your liver checked. Liver's fine. It's a great gift and a great liability, because sometimes we can buy into that lie that says, well, it didn't get me last time, so maybe I can try it again. What does the fear look like today, and how are you stepping into it? And I do want you to tell us what your therapist told you.
Now that I remember. I think part of the getting right back into the gym thing is because I punish myself. But I'll be honest with you, it may look like that, right? But I was, this isn't important, but I was a 0.347. Like, I was drinking 100 proof alcohol. I could barely talk. That's how I talked.
And if some people watching online, maybe someone here doesn't know what 100 proof is, that's one of the highest alcohol contents you can get.
Yeah. And, I didn't say this in the beginning, but I've been thrown in homeless shelters before because I looked like someone experiencing homelessness. I've woken up in a hospital with a doctor saying, I'm glad you're awake. We estimate you have 6 to 8 hours to live. Here's a piece of paper. Write your will on the back of this. It's gotten as bad as it can possibly get. And I think that is one of the gifts, and that has been confusing me. Is that okay? I'm back, and here's what I can do. Okay, but it's not. It wasn't like that this time. I had the DTs. I couldn't close my eyes without seeing still real things. I couldn't sleep. I was shaking. My legs would shake. I would pass out, and they thought they were gonna have to take me back to the hospital again. So for me this time, I thought, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the last time I can do this. But my therapist said. And she's wonderful. She goes here. She's a wonderful person, but she went through this checklist of the things I know I'm supposed to do and need to do before I take that first drink, or even when I'm an obsession or a craving. And she said, okay, so did you do this one? And I was like, no. And she said, okay, how about this one? And I was like, nope. And we got through like 7 to 9 things, and she goes, okay. And she wrote down, didn't do anything. And I was like, yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
She's funny, and she was just still trying to be respectful and polite, but I was like, yeah, I didn't. I know what to do. You guys have told me what to do. I know what I thought I should do. And I think the difference this time was I did lose that person in detox. I, said the respectful thing to her. I love her. I care for you. I hope that you have a beautiful life. I won't do this to you again. But when I got off the phone, my codependency was ripping me apart. I learned things like I didn't grow up learning how to deal with my emotions. I would try to either be attractive or athletic or funny, or I'd run, as Carrie said. And I didn't learn things like I did in detox this time, which I had to ask the nursing staff, can you take me outside right now because I'm going to lose it? And they would let me cry. And I would cry without making a sound. Like my mouth would be open, a gasp, and I'd be squeezing as hard as I could. And it was the hardest thing, but it was like, I learned that. I learned to cope by crying. And there's been a lot of times where I've gone home and just cried after hard days, or I'll just start crying because I'll talk out loud to that person I lost. I'll talk out loud to the inner child in myself. But like what it looks like now is taking it slower.
Yeah. And I love what you told me, dude. Last week you said, I can handle the suck of life right now, but I can't handle another relapse. And I believe that's true for you. What exactly do you mean by it?
In there this time, and I think, so here's what I think. If you've never heard this story of how Michelangelo made David, it's this lifelike statue. If you've never seen David, it's incredible. And someone asked him, how did you do that? And he said, well, I just carved away the parts that weren't David. I feel like one thing, if you can take any encouragement, if you're someone who's a chronic relapser, it's chipped away and let me know things that have been wrong inside. And every time I've learned, and I looked at that thing, and I've learned to start dealing with that thing. Your question was what again? What did you just say?
I was asking you what you meant by
what I meant.
I can handle the suck of life now, but not a relapse.
And my family and the people that love me have hated hearing me say, I learned something every time, because they're like, get over this, get through this. And with everything that I've learned, I feel blessed to be at a place where I finally worked on codependency. And now I know I can go home and DoorDash is my new addiction, or I can watch a Marvel movie, or I can go walk my dog. And I'm gonna be honest, I've walked my dog more. My dog's like, what's happening? Because I get stressed and I know what to do now. I'm either stressed enough that I need to let it out, like Harry said, through my eyes, or walk him, or do something good for myself, or call you, or call her, call Jerome, or talk out loud to the God of my understanding, which I do a lot. But
so let's get to Carrie's sermon a little bit. She talked about the God who sees me, the God who sees you. Who is that God for you?
Well, I'm a guy who tried to convince everybody there wasn't a God when I was in college, and I dated someone who was very religious, and I tried to convince her all the time, but God has continually showed up for me. But it was interesting because the last sermon, when she said that, I listened in the audience here. I hear God very clearly now because I've surrendered completely, and I've been rescued enough times that I heard God say, you had an impact on me, do you remember? And I was like, oh. When I was like 4, I didn't really have a dad when I was growing up. I did. He's a great man. We have a better relationship now. We didn't then. And my real dad was non-existent. And I remember going down in our scary church into the basement through the dark. There was no preschool. That was all shut down. Church was going on. And I went all the way to the back exit sign bathroom where no one would know. And I said, you can talk to me now. Like, I'm listening. You can talk to me. Be a dad, or be what I need. And that God, when I went into detox, I'm telling you, this hurts so bad. If you're, we're like, if you're here and you're like me, there's times where it hurts so bad, you're like, this might be it. And I remember I got on my knees in my little room and I said, please give me the strength of David. And I'm not that guy. I don't know why I even said that. And if you're not a Bible person, what I really said was, please give me strength right now. Because my dog was taken away, I'd lost my person, didn't know if I had my job, all those things. So the God who sees me knows all of me, and is finally, I finally feel comfortable with that and loved in that way, like I have never felt.
That's good stuff, man. And I will tell you all what I have told Shua numerous times. If this dude sees his worth, if this dude sees himself as God sees him, I'm telling y'all, watch out. Dude, there is an incredible life ahead of you in your sobriety if you stay clean and sober. I truly believe that, man, and I can't wait to see what happens. Shua, let's close with this. What would you say to someone either out here tonight or someone watching online? Maybe they're going to watch online throughout the week. Someone who's battling fear. Someone who's we heard the celebrations tonight, a lot of 30 days sobriety in here. What do you say to the one stuck in fear, the kind of fear that's telling them they're not really worth it? Maybe they shouldn't really do this recovery thing. What do you say to that person?
Yeah. You said last time that I could cuss, so I'm just going to keep that.
We're going to allow him to curse.
I would say what I used to say when I tried to be tough and I tried to take on this disease alone, which you're already outnumbered if you're trying to do it alone. Yep. I used to say, fuck fear. But that's not true. Carrie said it. Unfortunately, life is really fucking hard. And in this illness, it can get harder if you let it. But what I would say is that the camera right there? Yeah. I would tell you that you're fucking worth it. You're so worth it. You used to be a baby, and you're so innocent, this soul, this beautiful thing on this planet. And around every single corner, you're going to see something that can corrupt that and mar that up. This beautiful thing that, whatever this is up here, whatever you want to call it, created you. And, I would also say that I would be lying if I said, even this week I didn't have a ton of odd cravings, because my illness knows that if I F this up, I don't have to do it. And that's better than having to do it scared. The difference now, I think this is important. If you've never heard of internal family systems, it's not your family, it's the things inside, the managers that have came into your life to help you survive life. I now get those feelings, and I have to look to this little boy, this little Shua, this little Joshua, and I ask him now, what's going on with this? Like the other day I was driving home, and I'll get really, really low. And I said, what's going on? And he's like, well, I miss her. He's like, what are we doing? We'll probably never see her again. This is just one of the examples of low, right? And I have to sit back and I have to say, man, I do too. I know what that feels like. It doesn't feel good. But I'll be honest, the suggestions we're getting from our body on how to fix this is why we're here in the first place. So I think listening to yourself, and like you're a little kid, the one that's innocent, that hasn't had all the stuff done to him, and reasoning with them and talking to them with love can change everything.
Whew, that's good stuff, brother. Dude, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're alive. And I'm glad you're sober today. Shua Soden, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
All right, y'all. The way we close down here on a Saturday night, we open with celebrations. We close with in a similar way, but we call these heartaches. Maybe you've been carrying around burdens, and you've been trying to carry them alone, thinking for a while you're good doing it alone, but you're already outnumbered, as Shua just said, and you figure out you don't have to do that. It's why you have community. It's why you have a God who hears the cries of the people. So again, we take 3 minutes for this. If you have a burden that you're carrying and you just need to grab a mic and spit that thing out, and you need some prayer, some encouragement, some lifting up, that's what this time is for. Again, if you're online, if you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube, just drop them in the comments there. We'll join with you there. Shua, can I give you a mic again? Shua will have a mic on this side. Jason will have a mic on this side. We'll take 3 minutes. Just raise up your hand. This time is yours.
Based on tonight, I'd like to just say a prayer for everyone who's stuck in fear to come out of addiction. It is extremely scary, but it is so worth it on the other side. And if you can just get over that little bit of fear, you believe you can face it.
Sorry. I just wanted to say it says, do not be afraid 365 times in the Bible, and there's 365 days in the year.
Hi, my name is Reagan. My grandpa passed away today, and just a few weeks ago, I lost my grandma as well. So now I have two parents grieving their parents. So just please pray for peace for my family.
I just want to say I need to let go and let God.
Hi, my name's Logan, and I just simply like to say fear and faith have the same origin. That of the unknown is better to jump into faith than it is fear.
Hi guys, my name's Jimmy. About fear and recovery. If you don't give up, you can't fail. It's impossible. Keep going.
Hi, my name is Russ. I suffer from severe mental health issue, and I've been here for all the fear sermons, and it's inspiring me to jump. So I don't know what that's going to look like. It's like Carrie said, it's pretty scary, but I'll check out some possibilities.
Yeah, my name's Ron, and I'd like to just double the second what my daughter Layla said, that God would see blessings over 4D and what they're doing, their vision, and that all those clients would know that don't let fear stop them, that they are all good enough, and life will be better. We don't do this alone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. Sure, you want to join me up here one more time to read some online, our online people? Yeah. What's your trust God, bro? I didn't see that. I like that, man. All right, you want the first one?
Yeah. Julie Knight says, prayers for my son's safety as he travels to Memphis on Monday for a 2-week law enforcement assignment. Prayers for Julie.
Yeah, prayers for your son. Crystal says, first, thank you, Carrie and Shua, for sharing and being open. I'm currently recovering from surgery, and I hate being unable to do so many things, so I'm just asking for prayers for patience. Crystal, prayers for you. Glad you're part of this community. Prayers for healing.
Sherry says, do it scared.
Do it scared. That's my mama on there.
Let's go.
That's my mom.
For real?
Yeah. I don't. She says, do it scared. That's not. Is that like a burden? I don't think that's a burden. I think she's just telling us to do it scared. Yeah. She's gonna be here next week, actually.
Cool.
So y'all should come if you want to meet my mama.
Let's meet her.
Sure. Thanks for joining me up here, dude. All right, y'all. Listen, if you have been impacted by the mission of breaking the silence of addiction and creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection, well, I should tell you each and every week that we are what keeps this place going, what keeps the lights on, what keeps the mission moving forward is your generous giving. We are funded by you, the people. So when people say, well, how do you do that? Well, we're funded by the people, you all. And I know many of you, you've made that a part of your life and giving. And I try to say it most weeks, even if you don't give here, give somewhere, because giving changes you. But we're really grateful when you do give here. And it means a great deal to us. If you do want to give, there's a few different ways to do it. You can download the app, Free Recovery Community. It's a free app to download. All the sermons are on there. Guest storytellers are on there. All of our content. There's a giving button. You can give one time or weekly or monthly, however you want to do it. You can do the exact same thing on the website, freerecoverycommunity.com. And there are the giving kiosks, one outside these doors, one outside these doors. For those of you that still carry around things like cash and checks, we take those things here. And there's the kind kiosk. Don't forget about the kind kiosk, just out these doors on your right. It's the one tap, as Carrie calls it, the tippy tap system, one tap system, fun, safe way to give. And truly, every little bit makes a difference here. So thank you for being a part of it. Shall we go out with a prayer? All right, I would encourage you to just open up the hands. There's nothing magical about it. It's just a simple sign, a symbol of openness. Maybe it's the first time in your week you've been open to Spirit moving in your midst, breathing life in you and through you and all around you, or as Russ mentioned, open to stepping into those fears, facing them, jumping. Maybe tonight you're open to encounter the God who sees you. So just take a big deep breath. Yeah, let it out. Remind yourself you're here in this moment. And if you don't know the 7th step prayer, well, it's on your screen. We'll pray it together. It goes like this. My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in my way of usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go from here to do your bidding. Amen. Grace and peace to you. See you next time.